Welcome to Outlaw Librarians, Jailbreaking the Modern Library, a Peoria Public Library podcast, where we bend and break the rules of the old-fashioned library. Listen while we talk about how librarians are breaking the stereotype of boring, stuffy libraries. Welcome to Peoria Public Library podcast, Outlaw Librarian. This is podcast number 19, Butch, Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid. I'm here today with Nena, my faithful, I guess she would be Sundance, and I'm Butch Cassidy. We'll explain more later. But today we're going to talk about videos that we did for the library, different review type videos, and discuss that process. So hello, Nena.
Hi.
Okay, so you originally came up with the idea of let's do these videos for the library. What first clicked in your mind that you thought we could do this? Let's do this.
Okay, so I have been fascinated with making videos for a long time, even before I started it. I did some with another coworker. I don't know if anybody's seen them, the little puppet videos. So I'm kind of fascinated with the whole process and what comes from it. Mm-hmm. And when I started seeing stop motion, especially on YouTube and Vimeo and different places like that, I was like, ooh, this looks so interesting. I wonder if it's something I could do. And started investigating. And as a librarian, I must say, I did research.
Yeah, whoa. We kind of get stuck in that research.
Right. So this was this kind of like, I don't know, it just seemed really fascinating how you can take an inanimate object and make it move. I mean, the illusion is amazing. So it's like, you're like, see something, you go, I want to do that. So that's where I was.
Well, and then you would talk to me about these videos, and it just got me excited and passionate about these stop motion video, animation videos and projects. And then so I thought, why not work with you and let's make these videos.
Yes. We did. Can you believe it? She bought into it. Yay.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a little gullible. We'll see.
Let's talk a little bit about what types of videos and reviews that we use. Okay. So you want to start or?
Sure. Well, we've done 2 years. I'm trying to count 7 or 8 different videos. Mm-hmm. They've all been book review type, very quick. Our longest video book review was, I think, maybe 5-6 minutes.
Right.
So these are real quick book reviews, and we just decided to do children's books first because they're just the easiest to.
Right, and being a children's librarian, I kind of push that. So
yeah, and so we did children's reviews, and this year, our newest ones, we did the craft videos, children's crafts. So it was also very, very quick, very short. So it's not like we're asking you to sit there for a half an hour and to watch this video. Yeah, so we kept all our videos under 2 minutes, doing the various reviews, craft, items, craft projects. Right. And it was just fun to explore what we could do.
Right. And last year when we did the reviews, we were trying out different types. So we were doing like stick puppets. We were doing the animated stop motion things.
Yeah.
We did some paper ones for down shoots. We did ones in front of green screen. So we were trying a lot of different ways and types and styles just to see what we could do and what worked.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. And then this year, I really wanted to explore the stop motion downshoot a lot more.
Yeah.
So I had seen some videos before using, craft videos and some other kinds of videos that use that kind of look down at it and it moves by itself kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that I really wanted to try that and explore how that works. So.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I think some of the earlier stop motion video reviews that we did were more difficult because we were just learning, but then by the end of this year and the kids crafts we did, I'd say we've got pretty, not necessarily good, but streamlined. We knew what to expect, and so we were just pushing our boundaries further and further with what else can we learn?
Right, because I think a lot of it for me was what can I learn? Can I learn a new skill? Can I learn how to do this? Can I learn how to do that?
Yeah.
So it was kind of all very much about learning, and we had a product at the end, so that was cool.
Yeah, very DIY, learn, teach yourself. So
books feed people.
Yeah. Learn on the fly. We'd like to do that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
For the book reviews, the ones we did, first of all, you said we did different types. What pushed you to the various types of materials, media we used?
I think a lot of it was what was available.
Yeah.
I think for the green screen, that was so simple because you can, you just make a PVC frame and you stretch some green material over it, and you have your camera and you just start taping.
Yeah.
For some of the other ones, like I said, stop motion fascinates me.
Yeah.
So, but with like one of our more popular ones, Nana's Spaghetti review,
Nana Spaghetti.
we just used stick puppets and a stage, and it turned out really well. It's amazing.
It always surprised me how well our ideas worked.
Yeah, because we think it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
And it's not quite that.
No, not anywhere near a disaster. I think the hardest one was when we did the stop motion animation with the snippets, the longer book review one. We had pipe cleaner puppets that you made, you hand sewed their little clothes,
styled their hair,
and just the various different objects we used, and that was the hardest because you're trying to make it move like a person.
Right. I think the learning curve on that was almost too much for us.
Yeah.
But I think that the two animators, you and Laura, did an amazing job. You kind of like work through. There's one scene that people can probably tell that was our first scene.
Yeah.
And then the later ones that you did,
yeah, you do get kind of in a groove, the motion,
and it was better if you could
timing.
do like a couple of hours of it so you could really get into it. More than that, was probably too much.
But. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was hard, but kind of taught us a little bit about how stop motion worked, and doing the craft down shoots were a little bit easier after that, though we did have to improvise some rigs and
very much learning on the fly. These theories of how things should move, and then when they work and they look good, it's like I said,
it's like a miracle.
It was.
It's like a miracle. You're like, ooh, how did that work?
Yeah, even after our video number, 6 or 7, oh, that looks really good. Well, yeah. By now we should have it looking fairly good, so that was always fun. What was the part you hated the most about the whole production, both like pre-production and post-production, and like what was one thing you're always dreading?
I think the sound. I think trying to get the music right and the audio. That was kind of hard. I think because I'm not really an audio kind of person, I'm more visual.
Yeah.
So doing the script and putting it together and visualizing it in my head, sound wasn't really a part of that until the end, and I think that's one of my weakest points, which I need to work on.
Editing the sound.
Yes, dealing with the music and the sound and putting that final pitch on it so that everything's like somewhat even and nothing's too loud or too soft. You can hear everything, and it's that I think is kind of the hardest part. I didn't have any problem with script.
Yeah.
I've written scripts before. That's not a problem. I gotta say that making some of the puppets was hard, but not horrible. Yeah. So I think the sound for me. What about you?
Yeah. Well, for me, you say you're not an audio person, but I am. So, to me, I can hear it and then I've got it. As where you say we have to make this rig to make this glue roll or this marker stand up and write. I couldn't figure out the mechanics or the engineering behind it, and I'm just like, okay, whatever works. Yeah, that was great. I can't see it on the screen, so sure.
Well, yeah, basically we're using wire and toilet paper tubes.
Yeah, pretty much. Very low tech, low budget, but hey, it worked. What was your favorite part?
I think the actual animating. I didn't get to do a lot of that when we did the reviews because you guys were kind of doing it, and I was kind of like the tech person. But actually having a chance to get in there and move things around and see what happens when you did this and that, and then playing it back and you're going, ooh, that looks good. Yeah. So yeah, I think that was the best part.
Yeah. I agree with the animating. For you always wrote the script and then gave it to me. And so to me, it was very visual and auditory. I had to hear the music and the beats, even internally, you have this feeling of the characters moving or the glue moving or whatever. And it's really neat to try to break it down, but also make it smooth and seem realistic that these inanimate objects are moving.
And I like the fact that, I liked having, when we did it, to do it for longer periods of time because it was hard to start and stop and then start again.
Yeah, really, like I said earlier, you really do get in that groove and focused on what you're doing. And so the stop start, it always took 5, 10, 15 minutes to get back in the rhythm of moving the objects how you wanted them. And we always tried to do a good breaking point, but it didn't always work out that way. And sometimes you can tell, but we got better by then.
What do you think we learned? What do you think you learned?
Part of what I wanted to learn this year was a lot of the software, the programs behind what we used. We used Audacity, we used Photoshop editor, Photoshop video editor, Premiere Elements. There you go, Premiere Elements, video editor, Stop Motion Pro, and so it was learning. Oh, what does what do I need to do with this program to get what I want?
Right, and I think with especially with the stop motion software, was we just kept finding. Well, at least I did. Finding something else out. Yeah. It's like, oh, I wish you would have known that. Yeah. And then you just little piece by piece. I mean, we didn't learn it all at once. It was like, oh, we can do that. Okay, let's do that.
Like there should be a button for this, and we can't find a button. And then next time, well, it's right there. How did we not see it before?
Right.
There's a lot of learning the programs, and also with the video, like I said, with the snippets, the stop motion animation, just have things move organically. People, when we did the snippet puppets, or when we did the objects for the craft videos, trying to make it look how in real life a glue bottle would look as it rolls across the table, not this weird jerky jumpy thing. So
yeah, I think so. And I especially me, because I had the new camera, and I was like, how does this work? And so it was nice to have Laura there because she knew about cameras and kind of got it started, how it should go. I still don't know how it all works, but I can work it enough.
Enough. So it was good to push ourselves and learning what we did and what we can do. And
right, and I think for me at least, it was like it seems impossible when you think about doing a stop motion animation, but then when you break it down into pieces and of course read and read and read, like, okay, first do the script, okay, what do we need for that, then because I think with the craft ones especially, it was very much breaking it down into the different steps, and then it made it a lot more doable. If you could do it all over again, would you?
I would absolutely do it all over again. I would do this forever. I would never have thought I would get into video production and enjoy it so much, but it's been a really fun thing to do this past year and the year before, doing the various types of reviews and craft videos. I think, again, it's like you said, you would think stop motion would be impossible to do, but we did it basically no budget, you and I learning on the fly by ourselves, no one teaching us how to do it other than your various YouTube videos or reading the books and guides, but it was all just
I gotta say, I've got a bigger library now than I did.
But I would absolutely do it forever.
I would. In fact, I'd like to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably take a little break from it and work on my audio skills. Yeah. But, I think I would come back to it.
Yeah, we have, like I said, we have 4 craft videos, and
we had 6 reviews.
6 reviews. We were busy the past year and a half, 10 different videos. And we did it. I mean, at times we wanted to collapse and pull our hair out, but...
Or maybe throw some puppets across the room. I'm not sure.
Choke and rip their little bead heads off. But we got through our moment. Well, speaking of that, Nena in the future and what she wants to do with more videos, this is going to be our last podcast for Outlaw Librarian, at least for right now. I am moving away out of country to go back to school. So I'm very excited about that, but Nena has lost her creative partner in the video world, and so I apologize. I'm off for a new adventure. So we're going to talk a little bit about the podcast and why and how we got started and just kind of the evolution. So this is called Outlaw Librarian, and I think the name, we wanted to talk about the library and the fun different things that we do that are not just check out your books, renew your library card, look up the question you have. We wanted to do the things that you wouldn't think of a library would do, and I hope that we've taught you some in new ways.
Opened your eyes a bit.
Yeah, opened your eyes a bit. That's the way to put it. Of the various things we do and other people in libraries do. And so with Outlaw Librarian, we kind of wanted to break the rules, and so we thought outlaw, and that's just kind of how it.
Yeah, we threw a lot of names out there.
Yeah, we did. Got our good old trusty thesaurus book out and what's a good word to replace this word or that word, that kind of thing. So we ended up with Outlaw Librarian, and Nena and I kind of both wanted to do the podcast, and because we're all about content with the library and getting our name and our voice out, and so this was just easy, and it didn't cost really anything. So it's basically budget free.
That's true.
Yeah.
We had all the stuff to do it, so.
Why not? And it's been a lot of fun. I love doing podcasts, and I'm glad we came up with the idea. In the beginning, you knew a lot about the program Audacity that we use, but you taught me as we go along the various ins and outs of Audacity. I read some stuff online, watched YouTube videos, and just kind of learned on my own. Like
Amanda's Evolution.
Amanda's Evolution, exactly. And so in the beginning, you would edit the podcast.
Right.
Get everything started, but now you kind of pass the baton to me.
Right, this way she doesn't have to hear me complain about how long they are.
Yeah, she would always complain about editing. But I don't mind editing. It's kind of fun to make somebody words that are already amazing and make them sound even better, smoother. You're giving me great words and great sentences and great ideas. Let me just take out those few annoying ums or pauses or whatever. And so
that buzz that you heard in the background.
Or that buzz. So I don't mind editing, and I'm glad we can do that.
So shall we give them a kind of a behind the scenes about where are we sitting right now?
We're sitting right now in the Monroe Room of Peoria Public Library, main library, and we've been into a couple places. We would be often down in the basement in Classroom B, or we've even found a little nook in the book sale room that we needed when other spots weren't open. And so it's a matter of finding what pitches work well, what noises appear when, because we had a really weird noise at 3:30 in Classroom B, so that's why sometimes we had to be other places. But as long as you got your laptop,
a microphone,
and your people, you can pretty much sit
anywhere,
wherever you want. That's how that got started. I would come up with not necessarily I would come up with topics, but I know the people, my coworkers, the people in the library that had these new and inventive ideas or programs. And so I would think about the various topics we could talk about or who I'd want to talk to, and I would contact them, say, I just need 10 minutes of your time or so, and I give them a little list, and people I think were really grateful for that list because it's not just on the fly that I'm asking you questions.
Which is scary.
Yeah, which just can be scary, and it's all voice. I'd always reassure, we wouldn't see your face. It's just you talking. So I would get them and I would schedule, and then we'd, like I said, take 10 minutes to record our little podcast, and then I would edit, or I do edit.
Right.
Then it's up the next day or so, and it's pretty simple. You would think podcasts are hard. Not really.
With modern technology.
Yeah, that great old thing of modern technology. What was your favorite guest or topic? I know I had you, this is your second time on here.
Yeah, it is.
So you can't say you.
No, I won't say. I don't know. I liked a lot of them. Of course, when you guys read the funny bits from the archives,
with
that was great.
Yeah, that one was.
That was a little fun. It was a little crazy, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I know that while the topic wasn't interesting, the podcast went so smoothly. I mean, it was interesting, but not as interesting as some other ones. But the ones on Friends, that was like so smooth and professional. I loved that one. And then I also liked the fandom one, was kind of fun.
Yeah,
that was
fun. That one was fun.
And though it drove me crazy with editing, I did like the graphic one.
Me too. The graphic novel, our very first podcast, is probably one of my favorites because you just get I got really wrapped up in the topic and it was a conversation back and forth. And so it went a little longer than what we eventually you tuned it down to, but it was fun.
This one.
Yeah, as will this one be a little longer. And I also really liked the podcast that was our last podcast with the YA book club and YA books, because I'm a very big proponent of YA. I think more adults need to read YA. And so again, it's getting wrapped up in your passion for a topic. Then I could talk forever. And so those two were very fun and very easy to do because it's something I'm passionate about, graphic novels and YA. And then now today with the video, stop motion, and podcast.
So do you want to talk a little bit about why you're leaving, future of the podcast?
Yeah, like I said, I'm leaving to be moving to Iceland Yes, you heard me, Iceland. Why? Because why not is my answer. I'm going back to school at the University of Iceland, so I'm leaving the Peoria Public Library in the good hands of Nena and my fellow co-workers. So I can't be doing this podcast because I'll be out of the library world and out of the country. But you never know if Nena might find another willing partner to pick up the podcast.
You're going to say victim, but...
Oh. Well, maybe victim at first, but then willing partner to pick up the Outlaw Librarian title. So you never know. So
okay, someone who isn't here yet.
Yeah, someone who's not here yet. Maybe who takes my place would be excited about stop motion and podcasts. You never know.
Or 2 people, huh?
Okay. Or 2 people. Yeah, and you need 2 people to take my place.
Yes, definitely.
I am pretty awesome and the best.
Oh, you should tell them what you're going to study.
Oh, yes. I'm going to study Icelandic as a second language, learning the language, the culture, the history of Iceland, and then we'll go from there. I don't know what I'm going to do after that, but...
Come back and do a travel log.
Yeah, I could come back and do a travel log. So, never know. Our options are open and the horizon is out there. So,
yep.
Okay, well, that is it for the Outlaw Librarian. This is podcast number 19. Butch, Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid.
I think I'm the Sundance Kid, aren't I?
Yeah, you're the Sundance
Kid.
So I hope you enjoyed this little longer podcast, and thank you for listening always. Goodbye. Thanks for listening to us here on Outlaw Librarians, Jailbreaking the Modern Library, a Peoria Public Library podcast. We strive to break the rules and laws of the old silent libraries and make them fun and exciting again. We hope you enjoyed listening and learning about the new noisy rules of libraries. You're a daisy! The Show Must Be Go by Kevin MacLeod, Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Website http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/